Hello there. Ha ha! Welcome to Weedu Wanders. I'm actually in Hood Canal, on Hood Canal, in Union. This is where I lived for 3 years before I started hitting the road. That's when the Weedu Wanders series started, when I hit the road. And so, I'm on the road again. I'm resuming. So I'm here at my homie's, Gene. I love him dearly. We have 23 years invested in our friendship, and it's awesome. We've written a lot of songs together, and I'm going to let you hear some of them because I caught him live. Ha ha! And yeah, I love my bro, and so he's not doing the UT, but he respects me. He understands it. He started with me on my journey, even back when I went vegan and did all these other modalities that he couldn't get down with. But it doesn't change a thing about our friendship. We love each other absolutely, unconditionally, and endlessly. And so this Weedu Wanders, the next generation, is going to feature my homeboy, Gene Roberts. Stay tuned. I think you might enjoy it. A little music and some conversation. Alrighty then. See you later.
Need the challenge of the new day and all the pain will go away. It's not them, it's only you writing scripts. Here's the clue. You're the star, the director to a life of drama. Where's the stop for the drain? Pours a tear from endless pain. Sees the madness expiring down. Listen for the silence sound. Like a distant stranger in a cold wind, I'm seeking shelter from you again. Brief eye contact and very few words creates a tension when I'm not assured. Too many mood swings, offenses high, my mind filled filled with questions, wondering why. I'm very sensitive, I look for a hatch, one I can hang in when we're detached. My system goes haywire, I come unglued as the gap widens between me and you. Too many mood swings, offenses high, my mind's filled with questions, wondering why.
No idea why.
The twilight is still as we slip through the door, missing and drinking our clothes on the floor. I wonder a marvel appears in my view, her loving presence, blue rendezvous. So soldier, so poised, so ready to please, in a soft light, warm sheets, cool winter breeze. She slides over closer, she knows what to do. She's loving and soothing, rendezvous. I float in the pools that mist in her eyes, stroking the top of her warm thigh. We penetrate deeper with pulse of our moons. Is she ecstasy with blue rendezvous? She's a dream from the past, but she's fresh on my mind. Explosion of senses for me every time. You might think I'm crazy, but I have a clue, as I patiently wait for blue rendezvous. Blue rendezvous. Blue rendezvous. skating on the ice. Isn't it perfect? Wouldn't it be nice? Another breakdown, stuck out on the road. Can you handle another load? Who got busted? Are they doing time? What are they in for? What is their crime? Do we need an undertow to clip our wings so we can grow? Sounds to me like a goofy snafu. Another challenge, catch 22. 1, 2, 3. A brilliant orchestration, skating on the ice. Isn't it perfect? Wouldn't it be nice? Do we need an undertow to clip our wings so we can grow? Sounds to me goofy snafu. Did you apply it? Did you fill some forms? Does it seem irregular or part of the norm? Can we talk? Or should we just wait? Just to see what we'll create. Do we need an undertow to clip our wings so we can grow? It sounds to me like a goofy snafu. Another challenge, catch 22.
Awesome.
A little rusty, but then it takes on a life of a melody. But it's like putting you get the skeleton and you put the flesh on it, and then it starts performing acrobatics. It's this foundation was good for starters, and it was good cadence. So from there, I can look at the poem and go, well, it was a very meaningful poem because it was a real event in your life, and then. Okay, and it's got great cadence, and all of a sudden I'm going, oh, it should sound like this. But it's cool. I mean,
well, and how long have we been writing or sharing this experience? Was it like 96 or 7?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never too late to have fun in your creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to make a ton of money on it. I don't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact is you know, it's fun and it's cool and people love it.
Yeah.
Like when I go play music, you know, at an open mic or whatever, people fucking dig it. Like if you want to, you know, you got the lyrics and shit, you got the songs down, you want to go out to an open mic and sing it and have fun.
Oh yeah.
People fucking dig it. Go for it. You know. I mean, you know, I'm not as attached as I was to any of that shit. I think.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, you know, I remember there was a time, you know, if we were in our spirits prepared at the time to do, you know, to take the leap and make it happen. I mean, obviously the spirit was willing, but the flesh was weak. We weren't there. We were fucking drunken idiots, you know. We were, you know, or if we weren't being drunken idiots, the people around us.
We were surrounding ourselves.
We were attracting fucking the craziest bastards in Sedona. I mean, we weren't attracting the
from the extreme alcoholics to the crystal crunchers, we knew them all, man.
We knew them all. I
mean,
would I do anything? The only thing I'd do differently is you know, I wouldn't get a DWI.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that didn't score big points for the home team.
I probably would have sold my Mercedes Benz, you know, instead of
recklessly hanging around.
Hanging too long, yeah. But anyway, there's little things like that. But overall, I think what we did.
We lived to tell.
Lived to tell, and I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah.
You know, I sold my insurance business. You know, you say, hey, let's go down here. I remember flying down in 2000 and, you know, meeting all those really cool people in Sedona. And I came back and I'm ready to pack my bags and join you down there. And
it was a lot of fun bringing you and Randy both down there. And even the bass player.
Oh, yeah, that was Barry.
Barry Bond.
Who is no longer with us.
No longer with us. Barry, I love Barry.
What a wonderful guy, you know.
Yeah.
And Barry was so excited about all the things we were doing. I mean, a lot of people were excited about all the music and the things we were doing. And
we jammed a lot. We did. I remember we played quite a bit. We were entertainers at most of the parties. We were always in the soirees. And
hey, we played probably just about every venue in Sedona.
Yeah.
You know, and we had good musicians. I mean, with Jimmy Mack, you know, it was Sly and the Family Stone, and Stevenson Gurney was basically Dave Matthews' first choice to be his violin player. But he was married with kids, and he didn't want to, you know, do that.
Yeah.
But a great violin player and a great artist. And oh yeah, Nana, keyboard player extraordinaire, Vismaya.
We had quite a posse, and Chitano.
And Chitano, yeah.
Chitano came and went in and out of the lava lizards, lava
lizards.
Yeah. Our house band.
Yeah, he was Stanley Jordan's right hand man as far as recording for 8 years. So his big claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know, the jazz great. And I mean, so ultimately what we had going on down there, I wouldn't, you know, I took in all the money I made from my insurance business when I sold it. We went down there for 4 years, played.
Had the time of our lives.
Yeah, I had the time of our lives. And I go, you know, I'm so glad I did that. I spent every damn dime, and then I jumped right back on my feet and had a job as soon as the money ran out. And, you know, didn't even have to take a job interview.
Yeah.
So, but it's all about creativity, and yeah, I mean, wow, you know, treasure chest of memories and wonderful times and interesting people.
So, how do you know me? You remember the day?
No, I remember the day. I remember we were out here. We had about 50 people on the deck, and
what year was this now? 1996.
96.
Yeah.
96. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Kitty goes, well, I got these guys working on my house out there, and she says, is it okay my friend Casey and his friend come over? And I said, sure, we're having a party. I'd love to meet him. If any friend of yours is a friend of mine, well, he turned out to be a real good friend of mine after 20 some odd years.
23, we're going on 23 now.
Yeah, so we were, you know, he came out, and we were just hanging and playing music on the deck. Like I said, we had a ton of people, all kinds of instruments, and congas and djembes, and we started talking, and next thing you know, we just connected, and away we went.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so
it's been a great ride. We've gone through a lot of rodeos.
Oh yeah.
Have we gone through some rodeos, bro?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, definitely been on some rodeos.
And we live to tell.
Good stories. Good stories. Yeah, all the lyrics of that music, you know, it's like it all has some meaning to it.
None of those were empty platitudes.
No, not at all.
And they weren't allegorical. They were actual stories. They were non-fiction tales.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of metaphor and analogy and all of that shit going on.
Absolutely.
And true to form, though.
I think the key thing with good music is if there's something that's really relates to the human experience, because on a collective level we share similar experiences, and there's certain things that touch us, and we all go through pain, we go through joy, we go through loss, we go through gain, and if the song is genuine and it comes from the heart, and like your lyrics came from the heart, lyrics I've written on my stuff, and you don't want to do anything less than that. You know, your creativity is like when you would write things, Casey, is you want to put your all into it. It was a real valid experience when you wrote it. So for me to pick that up and go, okay, this sounds like I could put the rhythms to it and the way it should sound, and it comes to life in terms of the song. But if the song is just something, well, I'm going to write a little ditty, or I'm going to, we'll produce it and it'll go in the top 10. You know, it doesn't matter if it's valid. Your experience is valid. My experience is valid in writing a song, or anybody else for that matter. People resonate with it, and if you play a song and people like it, and there's like 20 people in the room that like it, you could play the same song on the radio, and 20 million people would like it.
That's a true statement.
Yeah, somebody would resonate to
now, and with these few songs that you just performed, they're so sweet, and they're so just hearing them, hearing the lyrics, because I don't listen to this stuff very often, so this is a real treat for me, is that remembering. Because once I write, I let it go. You know that.
Exactly.
I mean, I just let shit go. That's why I write.
Yeah.
Not to sit around and talkie-pocky trying to sell my CD.
Right.
I just move on.
Yeah.
So, just to hear them, it's a milestone. Most of these are milestones in my life. I can remember the event. I remember the person. And so hearing them is really it's joyful for me.
Well, that's cool, man. That's why I wanted to break out the guitar and just kind of let you know that the music still lives on. It's pretty cool.
Well, because I talk about it, and then without any kind of real evidence, the fact that you and I, we just my lyrics and what you've done, and whatever the other ones that you just mixed up again, there were 13 of my poems translated in that conversation with you, with the Blue Rendezvous, with the whole enterprise. There was a total of 13.
There was 13, huh?
13. That, if memory serves me, you and I collaboration have 13, and then you have Caroline and all the others, and Rose with a note. And so you have a huge catalog, because we were looking at two CDs. I think there was something like 23 or 4 or something that we had that were original tunes ready to record.
Yeah, we had 22, I think it was.
All
together. So, and what's cool about it too, again, we're just doing a little acoustic thing here. I'm just usually have a backup rhythm so I can play leads off it and stuff, but just kind of giving you a flavor, kind of taking a trip down memory lane with the music. But what's really fun is when you sit down and you take all of this like we did, and then you have the Hammond B3, and I could jam it with the electric guitars.
The rhythm section back there, rocking the bass and the traps.
The congas going, and the kit drum, and the gypsy violin kicks in, and the chitano with his sax, and all of a sudden, that's what's cool. When you write stuff, then you've got your hook, you've got your lyrics, you're coming in, your lyrics in the middle, and your lyrics going out. You got your chorus, And then you can bring in musicians, and then you can take, we did that too.
Yeah.
Aziz would play his sitar.
Yeah. With the wah-wah.
And with the wah-wah.
Holding it like a strap-on, like Jimi Hendrix, man. Assis was off the hook with the fucking sitar, man. He's playing that shit. Rock star. He's rock star, man. He's got the wah-wah. And the limo driver who died, he was doing trap, and we were in his basement up there on Schnebley.
Yeah.
That shit was tripping, though. That was way fun up there. The sessions we had up there. Paulo. Yeah.
He was a wonderful human being.
Yeah. And his wife, or girl, or whoever.
Yeah, that was his wife.
Yeah. They were a really nice couple. I really liked going over there. And they were your neighbors. Isn't that crazy fun?
Yeah.
Your closest neighbor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, pretty close neighbor. Hey, neighbor. So, I remember, and then, and he had his song, Indian Princess, and so,
we had some groovy times in Babylon.
We had some amazing times, and what's cool about it is the times just keep going on.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm working with Randy, and he's got 2 CDs, and really an excellent songwriter and artist in his own right, and so it's been really therapeutic and really lovely to just sit down and work on this stuff with him. I go over a couple times a week, and and then I've worked on his stuff. We just did a show with all his stuff, and so what's cool about creativity, you can be creative, until it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Frampton came here to town. He was playing
at the casino or something, right?
Yeah, he's older than you and me.
Yeah, I know.
And he's up there jamming out, and there's.
Do you feel like I do?
Let's hope so.
With his talk box and all that, he had it going on. Frampton Live, that album went off the hook, man. That shit sold billions. Yeah. Frampton Live, and there was some good stuff in there.
That was amazing.
Yeah. He had a pretty live energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So creative stuff, man. It's a blast. Just keep it going. As long as you're creative, all the way through your life, and until God calls you home, man. It's like that's the whole thing. It's I've always got something to do.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm ancient or anything, but I'm just kind of. Thinking.
Well, it's very much a part of your beingness, so it's not even having to do it. It's just enjoying it, which is obvious.
Yeah.
And it becomes a joy. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and you got to take the pleasure breaks, like you were saying, if you're busy working all the time, or you're stressed out and you're just focused on all the shit that really doesn't matter, or, you make too much of an illusion, and then all of a sudden you go, music always brings you right back into that zone.
Yeah.
That's why people love it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's magic.
This isn't my beautiful life.
Yeah.
This isn't my beautiful wife. How did I get here? With water running underground.
Yeah. And see, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like when I listen to music, it's like you go down and you hear a song, and you go, there's lessons in music.
Always.
All the time, it's like.
One of the least favorite song that Simon and Garfunkel ever did, as far as Paul Simon's concerned, is the 59th Street Bridge song.
Yeah.
Feeling Groovy. He thought that was the stupidest song in the world. And I loved it, I was so hippy-dippy. I loved it,
Well, it had the word groovy in there.
Yeah. Well,
Groovy, baby.
It was such a great song, Let's see if I can just think of how it started.
Hello, Lamppost.
Yeah, well, I always remember skipping down the cobblestones. Yeah, and feeling groovy. Just like it was always lovely.
Maybe you were feeling groovy and he wasn't.
I don't know.
If you're feeling groovy, then you like the song. But if you're not feeling so groovy, maybe it wasn't so fucking groovy after all.
Well, you know, they did cross some troubled waters, so, you know, they had some deeper shit. And America, you know, going on, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, they had genius and brilliance in their poetry, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And they were such a perfect duo with, you know, Paul Simon's little, you know, bowl cut and, you know, Art Garfunkel's all curly hair. I mean, they really made a good, you know, and that was such an era of duos, right? Seals and Croft and oh shit, the list was endless of how many duos were out there at the time.
Yeah.
Folk singer types, you know, in that whole period of time it was flooded, you know, Chad and Jeremy, Peter and Gordon.
Yeah. What about the Righteous Brothers?
Yeah. Well, they were a little more
earlier, yeah.
Yeah, but they had more. They weren't a duo. Oh yeah, they were Hadley and what was his name?
The Everly Brothers.
I was thinking Chambers Brothers when you said
the Chambers Brothers,
when you said Righteous. Yeah.
Yeah, the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah, Bill Hadley.
Medley.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. So they were kind of like before all of that, the Everly Brothers before that. But really, you know, it's kind of like you know, when you go way back in the first music you ever listened to, you know, and how it influenced you. But the thing of it is, you know, that's what creates individual styles. You're kind of this sum total of all the parts, you know that you've collected.
Well, if you listen to Bob Dylan's "No Direction Home," that documentary that was produced and directed by Scorsese, do you know the one? No Direction Home.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Okay, well, there was segments in there where they were talking. It was, you know, between the Byrds, the Beatles, Dylan, everybody was just kind of like throwing the shit back and forth across the pond. And they were exchanging energy fields, really, so to speak. And they were creating new sounds. They'd take a Dylan song and the Byrds would do something, you know, like what they did with Tambourine Man as an example. You know, the Byrds did a great rendition of Tambourine Man, right? And they did others. So they were just throwing it back and forth across the pond. The Beatles would do this little ditty, you know. They'd all just pick up on little chunks of it, you know, and put their own spin on it and groove it out.
Hey, you know, a little tidbit on that, the Byrds and Mr. Tambourine Man. They basically didn't record their own first album, and the Beach Boys were the same way because they weren't that good. They were good vocalists, but they had the rhythm down and the tune down. Obviously, they got pretty good as time went by, and then they became the Buffalo Springfield and all that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the wrecking crew or the studio musicians that actually played on that album, Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell were two of those studio musicians. So when you listen to that album, you know, it was Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell as part of the mix on that one.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. So Glenn Campbell, the square, you know, country singer, you know, and Leon Russell, man, you know,
the lineman for the county.
Yeah, the lineman for the county.
You know, and by the time I get my Kleenex, my nose will be. By the time I get the Kleenex, my nose is bleeding.
By the time I get my Kleenex, my nose is bleeding. Who wrote that song? I don't know.
And then he married, what's her name? Little girl that got out there young and out and country singer. You know what I mean? Yeah. She was young, and I mean, she was way young.
She was in feisty.
Tanya Tucker. I saw her play Parker's.
Get out of here.
On her first tour. I saw Sinead O'Connor there.
Really?
At Parker's.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Bronwyn and I. We saw both them.
Yeah, well, Glenn Campbell, you know, kind of joking about, you know, the songs had a place.
No, you know, I mean, you got to have fun. Him and John Denver, if you don't have fun with these characters, you're missing the whole show.
Right on. But he was, he was a studio musician extraordinaire, and
yeah. And he had his own. He came with his own light. You know, even with all his rhinestones and all that shit, he shined his own shoes. You know, he had a talent.
He was very talented, even as as an artist in his own right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I liked a lot of his music.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go out and buy all his albums, but you know, I certainly. And another one, Gordon Lightfoot. You know, he was underrated.
Yeah, he was.
Because he was a brilliant songwriter.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I've been helping Terry Schmidt. He's 80 years old, and he's had up over here.
Yeah, I know the house. I went over and looked at it myself, the fire burn.
Anyway, Terry, I got talking to him about the Laurel Canyon, the whole scene down there with the birds and the Buffalo Springfield and whiskey and all that. See, he was a music promoter.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so he had some cool stories as well. And I said, you know, they didn't play their own instruments at first until they finally got it. But it was mostly vocalists, you know, and they wrote the music, but they weren't proficient. And, you know, like the Monkees, everybody made fun of the Monkees. Michael Nesmith was the only actual true guitarist. Yeah. But they weren't any different than the Monkees in the beginning. But
yeah, they were just hired guns.
Yeah, but he said, I'm really surprised you're the first person that ever said that they actually knew that. And of course, you know, yeah, he had quite some interesting stuff.
I bet.
I was, you know, it's kind of cool because that was his time.
Yeah. No, right in the midst of it all, right there in the den of inequities, you know.
Yeah, he even had his own club down there in the whole works. And, and you know, promoted a lot of people. So, yeah, pretty fun. But in the meantime, we're out here with the chipmunks and having a good time on beautiful Hood Canal, and we can.
Yeah. Let's take a look at beautiful Hood Canal. Can we see? There's the mountains. How about that? See that? This is what we're looking at.
That is beautiful.
It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm here on Hood Canal with my homeboy Gene. We go back 23 years, and we met one day on this very deck. Groovy times in Babylon. That's awesome. Okay, come on. I don't know what's going on with this camera. All right, so now you've met Gene, and you've seen where I started my UT adventure, right here in Hood Canal. And it's been an amazing journey. I left here last September. I'm back here to get my computer and my archives. I'm going to be hitting the road again here soon. And it's a real pleasure to be able to share my homeboy with y'all. This is one of my favorite people in the whole world. We've come a long way, and we just keep on trucking. So, as always, love yourself. Love everybody you can. Give yourself big hugs, and boom, you've just been loved. Ha ha, bye now.